Greetings and welcome back to Good Samaritan Spotlight. My name is Dr. Scott Stine. I'm a family physician here at Good Samaritan Hospital in Vincennes, Indiana, and Chief Medical Officer of Good Samaritan Physician Network. Joining me today is Tanya Baugh, the coordinator for volunteer services here at Good Samaritan Hospital. Tanya, welcome, and tell me a little bit about your position here and what you do.
So I am the coordinator for volunteer services, the auxiliary, and the gift shop. All three of those departments work together. We have about 100 active volunteers currently in multiple areas of the hospital. We have a board for the auxiliary that's made up strictly of volunteers. At the end of the year, they vote where our money is donated. All funds that we raise go back to GSH to benefit patient care initiatives. But truly, we couldn't do that without the support of the community. So it just shows you how good our community is.
So it's a huge number of people to be managing.
Yes.
Obviously, lots of different activities. Tell me a little bit about some of the different areas that volunteers work in.
Yeah, we really tailor it to the volunteers' interest and passions. We have volunteers in animal therapy, infusion, information desk, our music center, Happy Wheels cart, gift shop, and hospice.
Excellent. And as far as those services go, tell me a little bit about how people get involved in that. I always advise people that volunteering at the hospital is extremely rewarding, and their first question back to me always is, well, I don't want to get too committed. I don't want to be too involved. I've got other things I need to do. So I think one of the concerns or trepidation people have is they're like, well, I don't want a full-time job. Like, well, it's not a full-time job. It's volunteer.
It's super flexible. Like I said, we base it off their interest and passions. We sit down with them, really get to know what their schedule looks like, their flexibility looks like, and then they choose their schedule. We just kind of puzzle piece it in where they're available to work, and then base it off their needs. They go on vacations and everything else just like us.
Sure. So tell me about some of the special areas. You mentioned lots of different areas where people are working. Talk about some of the special areas.
Animal therapy is a really big area right now, and our information desk, Happy Wheels cart, and our music. Those are kind of where we're looking for volunteers right now. And a lot of people don't think about the music or the animal therapy or the Happy Wheels cart, but those are things that bring people a lot of joy.
So tell everybody what the Happy Wheels cart is.
So our Happy Wheels cart is sponsored through Ronald McDonald's House. You just grab a buddy, 2 volunteers run it. We fill it with snacks and coffee provided by the McDonald's here in town. And then you just roll it around to the hospital staff, the patients, the visitors, and it's all free. All those proceeds are donated.
And I think people know a little bit about some of the animal therapy type things. Walk us through a little bit what that looks like.
So we currently have 4 therapy dogs right now. We have Willow, Valentine, Radar, and then Remington just joined us as well. And they just walk around the hospital and greet patients and just offer some comfort.
Yeah, so. I know we had one of the therapy dogs over at our Good Samaritan picnic recently.
Yep.
Obviously, everybody gravitates towards these animals, whether you are in the hospital as a patient, whether you're a nurse, whether you're a physician, whether you're an employee. It's always something that I think makes people happy, makes them smile.
Brings lots of smiles.
It's excited to see them kind of rotating through.
Yes.
You mentioned the gift shop, so volunteers work there as well. Tell me a little bit about that.
They run the register, they help merchandise, they help price, they help go through the product. We gift wrap as well, so they kind of just do the whole day-to-day function and greet everyone and help them find what they're looking for.
Excellent. So tell me a little bit more about, you mentioned that you match people up. When somebody shows up and says, hey, I'm interested in doing some volunteer work, how does that process work?
So we walk them through the application process. We get their application back. We sit down with them kind of like a formal interview, just get to know their interests, their passions, their schedules. We go through what all the departments do and kind of the job duties and see what would best fit them. And then, we're super flexible, so if they try one out and it's not the best fit, then they can try something else out.
Well, this is something that I recommend a lot for some of my patients who are retired. It seems like people work and strive towards retirement, and then they retire and they don't know what to do with themselves.
We get told that all the time.
A lot of people, I think, also have had experiences at the hospital, and they want to contribute and they want to give back.
Yes.
And I think that really helps people to understand and realize what it's like being a patient here, and what a benefit it can be to have that exposure to some of those volunteers.
Yes, for sure.
I think some folks seem to think that the volunteers are the people that are greeting us at the doors, and that kind of is the extent of our volunteer program, but they are basically woven throughout the entire hospital.
Yeah, and they're the friendly face you see, and they have a different level of empathy and companionship because they've been a patient here. Their doctors are here as well, and they're just here to give back.
Excellent. So if somebody decides that they want to take this step and become a volunteer, how do they do that?
So they can go to gshvin.org/volunteer application and fill one out online, or we have paper applications down in the gift shop. So they can come in, talk to us. Once we receive that application, we give them a call, set up a time, and just start getting to know them.
And is there any seasonality to that? Do you use more volunteers at one time of year, less at another time of year, or is it pretty much any time people are interested in donating their time?
Anytime. We have a lot of vendor fairs that we do to help raise proceeds as well, that require volunteers to be there, just to help make sure it goes smoothly for the employees, or the community that comes in and shops those vendor fairs. So we use volunteers all the time.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Tanya, any other particular things that you think the public should know about as it pertains to volunteering?
I think it's just a great way to give back to GSH. Really strengthens community ties and just make a patient's day. So
Well,
it's worth it.
Well, Tanya, thank you so much for visiting with us today.
Thank you for
all
having
for
me.
joining us. And if there's any other further information, Clint will make available online a link that will get you hooked up with him, make it easier to get involved in the volunteer process. Thank you.